Well, what is going on, everybody? Welcome, everybody, into NFL Week 6 of Mafia Bets on the Overreaction Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. This is a Bills Mafia-based sports betting show where we will talk about the Buffalo Bills matchup, give you the ins and outs, the whys, the why-nots for this week's betting lines and matchups, and why you should either hammer a bet or stay as far away from it as you could possibly do. My name is Joe Miller. You can find me on Twitter at Joe Miller Wired, alongside my co-host, Dan Frederick, who you can find on Twitter at Buffalo Freddy. Please do us a favor. Please like, please subscribe, whatever platform you are consuming this presentation on. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. Hit the notification button so you know when we go live. It would be swell as swell could be. But the Buffalo Bills coming off of a loss to the New England Patriots. Man, not great, Dan. How are you feeling?
I don't honestly think that game changed my thought process much at all, to be honest. That's a personal note. I'm great as always. You know, life's good. We had a nice family weekend. It's fall. It got rained on a lot this afternoon, but that's okay. That's going to happen. And we've been pretty spoiled. But as far as the Bills game goes, I still think we finished the 1 seed. I think we played an opponent that I wouldn't say the Bills underestimated in any way, shape, or form, but the league may have.
Right.
And they know us. Any division opponent knows us. Now the Jets can't beat us. Miami really can't. They came close, but they really can't beat us because they don't have the horses to.
Right.
I think that I knew that game was going to be close. I wasn't touching it really at all, and the outcome just makes sense. It did. They had Diggs on his revenge tour, whatever, which he obviously went off on my personal laddering that I do when I'm not limited to 100 units. I did very well off stuff on Diggs on his very huge ladder. But Matt Collins has last year's playbook. They knew exactly what our run scheme was.
Mm-hmm.
Diggs knows that offense in and out.
And had a lot to play for. He had a lot of emotion.
They knew exactly what to do against us on defense. And I'm fine with the way this game took place because now, you know, I think the patch just gave us everything they had, put it on film. It's kind of like what the Bills do in the regular season to the Chiefs, I think, a little bit. We put everything we can on film, and then the Chiefs turn around and they use that against us when it really matters. I think that's going to happen similar here. I don't think when we go to play them again or when it matters, it will even be close because we will turn around and know exactly what they did to us because they did. That game went perfectly in their favor between turnovers, between just stupid penalties, stupid things here and there. We got completely off our normal script. We didn't have the normal James Cook game for the first time this year. These games are just going to happen. There's a lot of parity in the NFL.
There is a lot of parity in the NFL. I think you said it, interdivision play. As much as we don't know Mike Vrabel's version of the New England Patriots, that Patriots team does know us. Mike Vrabel obviously knows us when he was with the Titans. He was always a challenge for Sean McDermott and these Buffalo Bills football teams. It was surprising to me that the Titans even fired him and kind of made him the scapegoat. And we see what has happened to that team since they've let him go.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not make a change with how bad the Titans have been? But has he really got the best chance to win down there? They let go of A.J. Brown. They had quarterback issues here and there. They had elite tackles retire. I love what Richard Rutsch just commented. He said it's not the loss, it's how they respond. And it's early in the season. I think that getting your butt whooped, and I said this on social media left and right, getting exposed and your butt whooped early can help you fix your issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I went right to bed after that game. I normally, the games that matter, I'm just pissed off. I'm mad. I don't want to talk to nobody. I carried on with my life right afterwards like it was nothing. And I think we're a decently coached team, and we're going to learn from it.
Yep, I would agree. The one good thing about Sean McDermott is he has not lost many back-to-back games, and I don't think he's ever lost
after a loss like that.
Yes, and I think he's at least in the Josh Allen era, he has never lost 3 games in a row. And usually when they do lose a game, they go on a tear, like a winning streak. So I would expect this Buffalo Bills team, just as you said, to respond favorably. And with that, kind of looking ahead to this week, the Buffalo Bills are going to be in Atlanta to face the Falcons in what will be the most aesthetically pleasing visually football game of the weekend. The Buffalo Bills in their 65 AFC championship, or I should say AFL championship, throwbacks, the Stormtrooper uniforms, as we like to say, standing buffalo on the white helmet with the white jerseys and the championship jerseys on the top. And the Falcons are going to be in their throwbacks with their red helmets. It's going to look, it's going to look,
yeah, that's a good.
it's going to be beautiful for me. It's going to take me back to being 8, 9 years old and going to the corner store with my dad and opening up football cards and, just that type of stuff. It's going to be, I'm excited for it. But when you look at this football game, and I know you're going to get into it, the Buffalo Bills struggling on offense a little bit and have been struggling on defense, going up against an Atlanta Falcons team that has been hit or miss, lost horribly to their interdivisional foe in the Panthers, but have also beaten some decent teams as well. So a lot of talent.
They
Excited to
got
hear
their
what you have
butt
to
whooped
say.
and they reacted pretty quick. You had led into a lot of things that I agree with McDermott and how we react very well. He's going to probably crack down on him throughout the week, but I hate the fact that we are playing this team on Monday Night Football after their bye week. They've got like 15 days of rest.
Right.
That's bad. Both teams I think are going to be really deep in the books this week. They will each have reason to take it a little step above. What is going on with like road teams or road underdogs or underdogs in general in these primetime games? It's unheard of what is taking place through the first 5 weeks of the season, including the first game of week 6 on Thursday Night Football. I don't know, 2-3 years ago, I feel like I would go into a primetime game and they were predictable. Like the favorite was winning all the time. They'd figure out a way to win.
Yep.
The favorites are losing more than 50% of the time, losing the game, let alone covering the lines.
Right.
I don't have an answer for it besides parity and these guys just being really juiced up, and it's early in the season. I think there's maybe a change from these top tier teams, kind of like you see in the NBA, how throughout the regular season, guys sit in the NBA. They don't take some games so serious, and then they make sure they're full go in the playoffs and when it really matters. I just don't see full blown effort across the board from the top 4 or 5 teams in the league every week.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah. I'm with you. It has been interesting to watch for sure. As far as just this year has been a little bit, I would say, an anomaly. There's a lot of season left. It could probably correct itself, and I would expect it to. I mean, as they get better, as they dial in, as Vegas dials better into who the favorites should be on a lot of these things. I would expect it to get better.
There are some things I like in this game. Those games have been hard to bet, but there's trends all over the place always. So we'll take a look at some of them. And we're going to share this screen a little bit more today than we have. I want to show the people listening more in depth of how I am choosing lines, how I'm manipulating lines, and not just showing you what I like and don't like. Because I don't think it gives it, I don't think it really shows you all enough of what I'm doing until afterwards when I share on social media how I changed the line a little bit here and there. But let's go right to the Bills game. They have, I think, a top 10 receiver. Some would say top 5 to 7 receiver in Drake London. I like his line specifically for anytime touchdown. Drake London plus 145, which means that he needs to score 2 touchdowns out of 3 games basically for that to be even or close to profitable. And I'm going to put a little sprinkling all over the place on Drake London's touchdowns and probably a little bit of his yardage, especially like I'm trendy with betting. I see what has happened recently and I usually just kind of go with it. Especially if I find good lines. I mean, Diggs just smoked us. I don't know about touchdowns, but
I saw it coming.
Yeah,
I started him in every fantasy league, of which you and I are in one of them together.
Yeah. And I think I actually commented on how are you winning games with these wide receivers because I saw Diggs on your team, and then he goes just nuts. So I have not put in the bets this week on purpose. Our account's at $181 or 181 units. We're up 81 units as of right now. I haven't put them in on purpose because I'm going to put more in after the show, but I want to show everybody how I combine odds and how I maneuver lines a little bit to make better money than just a straight up bet. So I like this bet.
Real quick with that, just for anybody that's new to the program or listening, new as a podcast, we bet in units. 100 units a week is what we're betting. Dan would recommend that you bet in units as well, and then denote for yourself personally what a unit is. It could be a nickel, it could be a dime, it could be a quarter, it could be a buck, it could be $10. For this, for us, it's $1 per unit, and we only bet 100 a week, and you do not have to bet. Please know that you're never required to bet. You can stay away from betting. You don't have to spend the money, and this is, as always, for entertainment purposes. Go ahead.
If your rent money or mortgage money is up and due, and you're looking to bet with that money, don't even think about it, guys.
Yeah, don't do it.
I didn't necessarily write this down, what I'm going to share at the end of the show, but that's the first time we're getting like even money on a Josh Allen anytime touchdown. Still, I don't think that's a long-term profitable bet, but these were like minus 160, minus 150. Now it's starting to come a little bit even. So every single week odds change left and right. They really high in James Cook. That's not very good odds, but let's go over to receiving. I got very lucky last week on a couple things. And that just happens. Sometimes you lose bets in the most ridiculous way. Happens to me every single week. But I also won some things that were ridiculous. Last week, personally, I took Josh Palmer all over the place to get two. He needed two catches. And I got those 2 receptions, and I got 25 yards out of him to win a whole bunch of parlays, a whole bunch of things on here, on my personal account, etc. That second catch was the last play of the game, dump off to Josh Palmer. He had a catch for 22 yards 5 minutes into the game. I'm like, all right, we're going to ladder everything. We're going to smoke his receptions. We're going to be plus 550 all over the place for him to hit 40 yards, which I think is a pretty simple number for Bills receivers that hit all the time. He doesn't even get another ball the rest of the game. Josh isn't looking for Josh Palmer short at all. But he gets over the top.
Yeah, the best part about you bringing it up is you are the only, other than me, content creator that has brought up that pass and catch this week, because the Bills are down, right? There's 8 seconds or 4 seconds left. Josh Allen drops back, last play of the game, and throws a 13-yard into Josh Palmer. And that was the end of the game. It's like with that's how you ended the football game. And no content creator has asked questions about it that I know of. I brought it up with people.
There was no hook and ladder. There was no guy waiting for the ball behind. Like, he didn't even catch it on the go and run. He got a ball at his kneecaps and fell over.
Game over.
Yeah.
You're the only one that's brought that. And so for good reasons that happened. But yes, that's awesome.
So I like to just things that I'm betting individually on here for this account. I usually put 5 units on something to show what I like. So I 18.5 yards for a number 2, I think, receiver. Now, a lot of this goes into, I don't think Dalton Kincaid plays. It sounds like something came up out of him, and he's got 100 yards last week. He's our leading receiver for yardage. Somebody's got to make up for that. 18.5 yards. That's so low. I probably would have taken that at 28, 29. So we're gonna do that, and then we're gonna take a couple little teasers here and there, a couple little parlays of these different lines, because we didn't bet all of our units.
So Dalton has an oblique injury. He was limited on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and he is now questionable for this football game.
Who's going to make up for that?
Well, if he's out, right, who's going to make up for those yards?
And even if he goes into the game with an oblique injury, he's not going to be as healthy as he was last game. He's not going to play he's not getting enough snaps either way, but there are I don't want to bet all 100 units every week before the show, because many things. One being right here, Dalton Kincaid is questionable. I can't get another Bills tight end or like their deep wide receiver lines anywhere. Right. So I can't even go bet Dawson Knox over 10 yards right now, because there's a question mark over Dalton Kincaid's head. If he doesn't play and the over-under is like it's been for Dawson Knox at like 11 yards, I'm going to smash that, because
he's going to get 11 yards.
Yeah, exactly.
He's going to get 11 yards. Yeah. Or Jackson Hawes, if you can find Jackson Hawes.
I would put them. I would ladder both of them strategically, hoping one catches a 35-yard pass, and that'll be like plus 700. So if one pass goes to a tight end like that, and I just bet everything possible on them, no matter what, I'm profitable. And that's I don't care about winning one particular bet. I care about being profitable with everything I put in. Right. The other thing that I'm going to take for the Bills game there specifically is Josh over 33.5 yards. Josh has had 53 yards rushing, 45 yards rushing, 25 yards rushing, which is under that, but then 59 and 30. especially if he's missing Kincaid. And we are playing a team that can pass rush. They just drafted 2 first-round defensive ends. They have been dominating the defensive line. Their offense is the reason. If their offense goes, they win the game. If they don't, they lose.
Yeah, and they're also a heavy blitzing football team, which
Mhm.
Josh is very good against the blitz. And if they start blitzing Josh is going to start running.
That's exactly right. And I am going to take quarterbacks for their rushing numbers on my personal account as
Mhm.
much as possible with everything I can. Whatever's happening this year for what defenses are doing, every like middle of the road rushing quarterback is consistently smashing their rushing lines. In Vegas or the sports books haven't changed that yet. They haven't made their lines way higher to where you can start
Mhm.
hitting the unders. So, I mean, even Patrick Mahomes has been running for his life. He doesn't have Rice back this week, so I'm going to
Mm-mm.
definitely take Patrick Mahomes this week. Drake May is the only quarterback that didn't go over his yardage last week of
Right,
like
right, right,
anyone, and it's the
right,
one we took on this show.
right.
Everybody else did. Josh hammered his number. Look at Jackson Dart on Thursday night. I think he went over it by 40 yards.
I think he was over it in the
That's
first quarter.
Yeah, that's a huge payday though. If you ladder that the way that
Mhm.
I've told our listeners to do, you put a couple units on the main line to where if that hits, you at least make a little bit of money. But then if his line is 25 and a half and he gets 60, that's going to be plus like 900.
Right, right. Good stuff. So you're going to do a couple other bets here, or do you want to move on to the hammer bet of the week?
Well, I actually want to show everything that we're doing for the week in advance of that, so I can take those units,
Mhm,
those
mhm.
bets, and show you how I would turn them into units on here. So
Okay.
those are the 3 things that we took for the Bills game. I'm hammering the Colts. I am hammering the Colts every way possible. I'm definitely putting them in a bunch of teasers because do we think under the current circumstances the Colts lose this game? And I mean, I've said this multiple times, and it hasn't worked out a couple times here and there, but I don't think they can lose this. Kyler Murray is not likely to play either. They have Jacoby Brissett, a team that absolutely blew the game against Tennessee. They're completely middle of the road. They seem to lose every close game.
The
Uh,
Colts are at home.
the Colts are at home in a dome. Uh, Mac Jones
What's the
is
spread? What's the spread on this game?
spread this game 7. You
Oh,
can get
okay.
it at 6.5 though if you pay a little juice, and that's what I've been doing all over the place. I've been getting at 6.5 to where if they uh, 7's a win everywhere. And I'm
Right, right.
willing to in that situation if the numbers say it's worth it to do it, which is your 3s and your 7s. So if the line is 3 or 3.5, you want to buy it down to 3. If it's 3, you want to buy it down to 2.5 because if they win by a field goal, it's then a win instead of a tie. And some sports books, if you tie, you lose
Right.
for parlays and teasers.
Just to get everybody up to speed that may be joining us a little bit late, Dan's Bills picks for this football game, or I should say players from the Bills Falcons game: Drake London anytime touchdown, Josh Allen rushing yards, Josh Palmer over 18.5, and then the hammer bet, the one that you should be absolutely destroying, is the Colts. Now, Colts money line or Colts with the spread?
Both. So the money line is what I will use with other bets mostly. So
Mhm.
I'll take that to get great odds across the board because their money line isn't very good. But I'm going to be taking their spread as like one bet that I'm going to probably put about 15 units on for the week.
Gotcha. Now, moving on to the other bets that Dan loves. But before we do that, we didn't necessarily do what we've been doing week in and week out, which is the overreaction bet and the underreaction bet. The overreaction bet meaning the one that the player that you probably shouldn't freak out about because everybody else is, and Dan doesn't like him, versus the underreaction bet, which is the one that nobody's paying attention to that you should be going after. And it's because Dan wanted to kind of break down just for you kind of how he's betting and what he's doing. And he wanted to show you in person on the screen, which he's doing right now. So.
Yeah, I want to show you guys a little bit more of exactly how I'm manipulating some lines and whatnot. We just didn't have time for the other one. And frankly, I've already showed you the bets for the week. And included in that is things that I'm fading for the underreaction and the overreaction.
Right. Right.
So let's talk about quarterbacks and their rushing right now. This game right here in general, both these quarterbacks have very consistently been over their rushing lines. So you take a look at how this works for each one for Spencer Rattler and Drake May 23.5 and 18.5. I love both of those to go over. So I would do each one individually for 2 or 3 units. And then I would take them when you combine them together, say they both go over, like a lot of games have happening, you put 5 units on that, you get back 11.65 units, which is actually 16.65. You're winning 11.65.
Right.
So I take a bunch of bets like that where I'm taking 2, maybe 3 units all over the place, and I get plus odds to where I have to win a lot less bets overall.
Right.
But when I do hit, I'm getting paid pretty well. So
And what you will notice is that Dan is not doing a 9-leg parlay where he's betting $5 to win 1,800.
Those hit. You see them all over the place online. Those hit, and people make crazy money off them. But are we likely to, in a structured show that has a certain amount of units, hit one of them regularly? No, I would lose 500 of those in a row and then probably hit one eventually and maybe be up money. But they're few and far between.
Right. That's the long game for sure.
Yes. Dallas, this game's great for rushing quarterbacks. And Dak has been running very consistently. His offensive line is questionable. They're a good run blocking team, not necessarily pass blocking. But look at this. Player rushing yards here. This is what I love to find.
Dak at 6.5.
That's one rush. One rush, he hits it. And even though they have to put the line low based off the average of what he has for the season. But realistically, all that needs to happen is he scrambles on one play and he hits that.
And again, the Carolina Panthers defense is one of the worst in the league.
Yes, that's what I'm getting at. So I'm going to take those kind of bets left and right all day. There's another one that I really like too. Jordan Love. Jordan Love has like 28 rushing yards, 16. He's got 62 rushing yards in the season in 5 games. So that's 13, 14 rushing yards a game. Look at what his line is. Again, the one rush.
8.5.
8.5, right?
Yeah.
So he needs one rush. And people are getting 40, 50 rushing yards a game for quarterbacks. So I'm going to take all of those, and probably off the show. I'm going to do that after, and I'll share on social media. I'm going to put 5 or 10 units on like every one of those quarterbacks, and I'm going to spread out the bets a little bit more and parlay those here and there for better odds because they're hitting very well. Those different kinds of bets like that. There are several other things that I really like. If we were going to say that our overreaction of the week, it would have been ETN. And I'm going to take ETN's under rushing yards this week. I think that Jacksonville's found their groove a little bit. I was bigger on Trevor Lawrence in the offseason. For those listening or don't know, I collect sports cards. I've been spending way more money than my wife needs to know about on sports cards.
We just told the world, so
yeah, she don't listen. I talk enough at home. She hears everything I talk about leading up to the show. So Trevor Lawrence, I think they were handing the ball off. ETN was going wild the first few weeks, and I was shocked by it because he hadn't done anything in like 2 years.
Right.
But I think he and BTJ have started to come together. Last week we did well off BTJ. He laddered pretty well, right?
Yep.
So
finally,
yes, and finally for me in fantasy football too. And Trevor Lawrence just won that game. They're going to be riding high. I don't think that they're necessarily going to be needing to run as much. I think they're finally going to start, and they're playing the Rams too. So the Rams team seem to be in a little bit of shootouts here and there. So I like taking ETAs under yards. And here's the problem we get into, because this game, there are no lines available.
Not on FanDuel currently.
Currently. For whatever reason, they like to just wait and wait and wait. So tomorrow, I'm going to take ETN, and last I saw was 62.5 on other sports books. I'm going to take his under yardage.
Gotcha.
Another bet that I really like is the under again. Jaylen Warren, I don't think is a very good running back. I just don't think he's very good. And the Cleveland Browns, like if they ever figured out their quarterback situation, they could be a pretty good football team.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Jaylen Warren's at 48.5 yards. I like that people have bet that since this morning.
44.5.
Yeah, that was 48.5 earlier today. So that's a popular bet. That means that people who bet real money are betting this.
Right.
So I'd be taking the under of Jalen Warren on that. We'll leave that in the little spread here to add to some other things. And then we've got Joe Flacco now, who just launches the ball down the field relatively carelessly, but it's kind of exciting. The dude's like 55 years old or whatever at this point. But the lines for his receivers are very low. You got to dig deep to find things you really like. I just don't throw darts at the wall. I'm digging through everything possible. I liked Higgins on a ladder this week, and we're definitely going to put some bets in on that. So here's how I would make extra money or get really good payouts. So we like Jalen Warren under, which is basically a straight bet, right? You're not able to ladder an over or an under at all. But if I go to receiving for T. Higgins, I'm going to take his over under is in the 40s. So I'll just do that a little bit lower than that, or I can just really make it to where I think he gets 30 yards no matter what with another bet that I like, and boom, you're at plus 164. So you bet $3 now instead of your 5 to win 5.
Right.
I'm going to reuse these selections, keep that in there. And then because I really like Jalen Warren, we're going to remove that one and we're going to go up a little bit. We're going to see if we could really make some money. So I'm going to take that Jalen Warren bet that I'm going to use as like a base for several other things. But now Higgins catches one deep ball in the entire game. And he gets over 60 yards, which 2 years ago, that's like a bad game for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're getting plus 459. So we can put $2 on that to win $9.
9. Yep. So ladder bets in process or progress here. You're watching him do them live. So yep.
I like Matthew Golden, same exact game. He's rookie first rounder. Really, him and Ibuka have just been going nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a deep ball threat, right? Matt Golden, he's catching 2 or 3 passes for 85 yards, or he's getting nothing. So I'm not looking for a player like that to just hit their line at 44 because that's like one catch. I'm looking for a player like that. Let me get rid of T. Higgins. I'm looking for a player like Golden. If he has a game, right? He has a real game. 80 yards. 90 yards right there.
That's T. Higgins still.
Oh, man. All right, here's Matt Golden. 90 yards, better odds. So 90 yards here is plus 490.
Jeez.
That's a big payout, right, for somebody who's been their wide receiver 1 versus a terrible defense. So if I find 1 in 5 things like this, I'm making money. So I'm going to put like 3 units on here to do very well. And then I'm going to keep that on here. And then I'm going to go right back to say this is a shootout game. And we could do this with any of the other bets that we really like. We can go right back to T. Higgins there. And if
he's up, he's got to keep going up.
There he is. So let's take T. Higgins at maybe 60 or 70, 60 yards. Look at how that pays out.
Yeah, 1341 for 2 bets.
You hit 2 things, and we were doing that. I didn't put many of those in the last couple of weeks, but the first couple of weeks we took 2 wide receivers and they would go way over, and we get paid a ton, right? So look at that payout. 40 units for 3. And that's how I crush sports books. I will take 2 little things like that I think are very possible to happen, and if I hit 1 in 5 of them, it's a profitable week.
Good stuff. And then throw back up the rest of the bets. I'll review them real quick. So once again, for the Bills game, he's got Drake London anytime touchdown, Josh Allen rushing yards, Josh Palmer over 18.5. What was the Josh Allen sweet spot for rushing yards for you? Do you remember the under over?
His was 33 yards.
33 yards. The hammer bet of the week is the Colts, and then the other bets that Dan loves this week. Travis Etienne on the under. That's the bet that he's fading. The overreaction bet. Don't be overreacting to Etienne's what he's done so far this year. The Broncos money line and teasers. Marvin Mims has over and a ladder.
I really like Marvin Mims. I mean, they're playing the Jets. they're playing the Jets. The Jets have been really interesting to bet. The Jets, the Cowboys, those 2 teams, the Bears, those 3 have been something I've been all over the place because there's just outliers all over. You're not always finding them, but when you do, they pay really well. Marvin Mims is an up-and-coming player. His line's 25 yards. So if he gets 60, that's paying crazy.
Right. Matthew Golden versus the Bengals defense loves the rushing. So you want to give us some
Jordan
context to that?
Love rushing and quarterback
Jordan
pressure.
Love rushing. Got it. I was like, all right,
No,
there we
you don't
go.
speak Freddie. My little how I
Dan
type.
Freddie loves rushing. And then quarterback rushing in general, which he went through as well, which includes Pat Mahomes because the quarterbacks have been running really, really well so far this year. All good stuff. Dan, great work as always. Excited to see how the week kind of pans out for us. Any final comments before I get us out of here?
Well, I'm gonna take some more videos and I'm gonna put them on social media,
Okay.
especially to. There's no Bills game tomorrow. A lot of these games are later, so they're
Right.
gonna add a bunch of other lines. I'm really gonna look for a Bills like tight end line here and there for Monday night, but I'm gonna take and combine all those different things that I've had on that list in
Mhm.
little bets that are plus 400 all the way up to plus 2,000 and
Right.
combo them for 3 to 5 units here and there, and you get 3 or 4 of them to hit in total. You've had a really profitable week.
Awesome. Very good. Excited. We'll be looking for those videos on social media. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into NFL Week 6 of Mafia Bets here on the Overreaction Buffalo Sports Network, presented by FanDuel. All good stuff, Dan. You're crushing this thing, and it's exciting to be doing this with you. I appreciate you to lending your thoughts, your skill, your mind, and even your content as far as just the commentary that you provide and why. And thank you for showing us how you were kind of doing this stuff live. So very, very good educational moment. Once again, everybody, you don't have to bet. Pick a number, break it down into units, bet in units format. Again, you don't have to bet. And if you've got a problem gambling, please seek help. This is for entertainment purposes, and just have fun with it, but don't get overboard. Don't crush you or your family. But so good to have everybody joining us live here on the Overreaction Sports Network. But for me, for John, for Jerry, for Dan, for Zig, for Ant, for all of us here, we love you guys. Appreciate you. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Hopefully go
Go.
Sabres. We got to check.
Yeah, we got to check. Go Bills and Sabres.